Well. Starmer isn't the only one in the Labour Party to have lied. Rachel Reeves' dirty secret has been now come out, and it turns out she is a complete fraud and a liar. In today's video, we will cover her dirty secret, whilst also going over all of the latest news from up and down the country. But first, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel and join our fast-growing community. Just a quick one to say we have new Stuck Farmer t-shirts available on our store. Go grab them now. They are available at britishstand.com or check the link in the description. As UK economy screeches to a halt, Rachel Reeves has been forced into a humiliating climb down on her career history. She previously stated on her LinkedIn profile she worked as an economist. Now she has changed it to retail banking. More and more people are coming forward about this, saying she has lied about her credentials. Reeves has now streamlined her tenure as an economist to just her years at the Bank of England. Nothing wrong with that, you might say. But here's where it gets interesting. Guido noticed something sneaky on her LinkedIn profile. Reeves has quietly edited her CV, and her time at the Bank of Scotland has been rebranded. Once upon a time, Reeves claimed she was an economist there. Now, she just says she worked in retail banking at HBOS. Fascinating, right? And here's the kicker. According to Guido, her actual role at HBOS wasn't exactly what you'd call high-powered economics. She worked in a small complaints team. You know, the kind that handles admin processes, IT fixes, and small projects. So if you were under the impression that her experience as an economist somehow justifies her big budget proposals, this might give you pause for thought. But wait, there's more. A Treasury source has admitted the LinkedIn profile was indeed edited. Here's their take on it. She worked in retail banking, covering various areas, drawing on her background as an economist. Her LinkedIn has been updated to reflect that. Drawing on her background as an economist, in a complaints team, I'm sure the spreadsheets must have been riveting. Look, politicians love to polish their resumes. It's practically a job requirement. But when you're the shadow chancellor, claiming expertise in economics, people are going to ask questions. So what do you think? Let me know in the comments. This is the Fraud Act 2006. Under this act, making a false representation for personal gain or to cause loss to another can constitute fraud. This includes fabricating qualifications or work experience on a CV. Forgery and Counterfeiting Act 1981. If the deceit involves forged documents, e.g. fake certificates, it could also fall under this act. At the very least, she has misled her colleagues, party and constituency voters. In some other news, 5 people have been found guilty of murdering teenagers, Mason Rist and Max Dixon, who were tragically attacked with machetes in a case of mistaken identity. Riley Tolliver, 18, along with a 16-year-old boy, a 17-year-old boy, and their getaway driver, Anthony Snook, 45, were convicted of both murders, following a 6-week trial at Bristol Crown Court. A 5th individual, a 15-year-old boy, had already admitted to murdering Mason and was also convicted of murdering Max. Detective Superintendent Gary Haskins from Avon and Somerset Police explained that the 2 teenagers had simply been walking to get pizza when they were attacked. He described Max and Mason as beautiful boys who were just going about their day in their local community when they were senselessly targeted. According to police, the group had been driving around Knowle West, searching for people they believed were responsible for an earlier attack on a house in the rival Hartcliffe area. The 2 boys were mistakenly identified as the culprits. Snook, driving an Audi Q2, circled the area multiple times before spotting Max and Mason. Convinced they had found their targets, the group stopped the car and launched their attack. The court heard how Tolliver and the 3 teenagers, armed with machetes and a baseball bat, chased after Max and Mason. Each boy was pursued by 2 attackers, with Tolliver and the 15-year-old targeting Mason, while the 16 and 17-year-old went after Max. Tragically, the attack lasted only 33 seconds, but left both boys with fatal injuries. Mason and Max died in hospital in the early hours of January 28th. Snook, who drove the attackers to and from the scene, denied knowing about their weapons or intentions. He claimed he believed he was simply transporting them to a safe house, following the earlier incident in Hartcliffe. Despite his claims, prosecutors argued that Snook was complicit in the revenge attack. The court was told that, after the murders, the group returned to Knowle West, disposed of evidence in a garden fire, and even stopped for a McDonald's meal. Chillingly, the 16-year-old was recorded in custody, admitting to hearing Mason scream during the attack and said he had to sort of join in. While the defendants' lawyers argued their clients did not intend to kill or seriously harm Mason and Max, the jury rejected their claims. Prosecutors highlighted the brutality of the attack and the mistaken identity that led to the boys' deaths. In the end, justice was served, but the devastating loss of 2 innocent lives remains a stark reminder of the senselessness of such violence. Lastly, Prince Harry's case against newsgroup newspapers, NGN, is still live, the Duke of Sussex's barrister has confirmed. The royal is involved in a legal battle against the publishers of The Sun, with a trial to take place in January 2025. The Duke of Sussex's barrister told the High Court that Harry is one of 2 claimants whose claims are still live against NGN over allegations of unlawful information gathering. It is the latest development in the legal battle between the royal and the media group. Last month, a High Court judge criticised the legal action involving Prince Harry and The Sun's publisher, describing it as a campaign between obdurate but well-resourced armies that is consuming an excessive amount of court time. Mr. Justice Fancourt expressed his concerns in a preliminary ruling, where he resolved disputes between the legal teams for the Duke of Sussex and NGN over amendments to Harry's pleaded case. The judge stated, "I have previously indicated to the parties that this individual claim, although it raises important issues, is starting to absorb more than an appropriate share of the court's resources, contrary to the requirement in the overriding objective to deal with cases justly and at proportionate cost." A trial is scheduled for January 2025 at the High Court. NGN has previously denied any unlawful activity at The Sun. In his ruling, Mr. Justice Fancourt highlighted the extensive disputes between the legal teams, noting, "I am faced with a table of disputes running to 44 pages, with 49 separate items or groups of items disputed, only a handful of which were eventually agreed, and 34 pages of dense submissions by NGN in support of their objections." The judge granted permission for certain amendments to Harry's case, while upholding some of NGN's objections. Mr. Justice Fancourt emphasised the urgent need for swift resolution of the case. He stated, "It is clearly imperative that the content of the pleaded case is resolved as soon as possible." The judge also reiterated his previous stance on the trial's timeline, saying, "I have also previously indicated that this claim will not be adjourned and will be either tried in January 2025 or settled, since it was issued as far back as September 2019 and has been stood out of eligibility for 2 previous listed trial dates. That remains the position." Fancourt expressed frustration with the ongoing disputes, saying, "It is unsatisfactory, to say the least, that the court should be faced a second time with having to resolve such a large extent of disputed material on amendments to a statement of case." He concluded by explaining that his ruling was intentionally brief, due to the urgency of the case and ongoing trial preparations. What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comments section below. If you've not yet already, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more British political content. Thank you, take care, goodbye.